Hi everybody, this video is showing a quick way of creating your cube pieces inside of AutoCAD. At the time I'm recording this one, I'm using AutoCAD 2026, but it'll be similar in other versions as well. First thing you want to do is to create a new project, and you should find a template file called AutoCAD 3D. AutoCAD in this case stands for AutoCAD, 3D stands for three-dimensional. And when you do this, you should end up with a screen that looks like this. Very first command we want to type in, and you can either click down here to type in the command, or you can just type it anywhere on the screen, is units, U-N-I-T-S. Whoops, hold on a second, let me hit escape a few times. Units, if I could spell, and choose that unit command, and you can choose a bunch of different types of units. Because we're working with 3D prints, we're going to work in millimeters. Yes, you can work in light years or parsecs or astronomical units, but we want just millimeters. And then just click OK. First thing, we want to create our cube. To do that, we're going to create a rectangle. And we're going to start typing in, you can just type in R-E-C-T-A-N-G, rectangle. And you can specify, we want to know the first corner. We want the first corner here at the origin. You could try clicking it by hand, but you'd probably miss it. Instead, we're going to just manually type in that origin. So you're going to type in 0, comma, 0, comma, 0, return. And what it's just done now is put the starting point of this rectangle at the origin. How big do we want each of the sides? We want them to be 10 millimeters. We're going to make it 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter. So we're going to type in 10, comma, 10, return. And now we've got this rectangle that's exactly 10 by 10 that has one vertex at the origin. Next command is extrude. Click extrude. We're going to click on the object, in this case the rectangle. It should turn blue. Once it turns blue, hit return, and now we can drag it up or down and extrude it in the Z direction. We want to make this an exact cube, so I'm going to type in 10 for the distance I'm extruding. Now it's time for me to make my actual shape. You could make a bunch of other cubes, but I would recommend we simply use the duplicate command. So if you type in DUP, choose duplicate or copy, it's going to say select the object you want to copy. I'm going to click on my cube, it should turn blue, hit return, and now it's going to specify what base point are we going to copy from. And here's where the nice part is in. As long as you've got these highlighted down here, in particular this one here, which selects the vertices, object snap, if you move this over here towards the origin, you should see a green square. I'm going to be copying from that point right here, from the origin. So I'm going to click there, and now it's asking, where do you want to put the second point? Well, I want to put 3 cubes in a row along the x-axis. So where do I want to put this new vertice? It kind of clicks on there, but be careful. Notice you can actually be up or down or over a little bit weird. So again, it's probably safest to actually type. Where do I want this one to be? I want this one to be at coordinate of x equals 10, y equals 0, z equals 0. So I'm going to type in 10, comma, 0, comma, 0, and hit return. And boom, you'll see that that next cube went right exactly there. And I'm going to do the same thing for this cube. But this one I need to go right here, which is now 20 in the x direction. So I'm going to type 20, comma, 0, comma, 0 to put it there. Now I've got 3. Notice it's still copying. My next cube I actually want to put right over here for this piece. To do that, it's going to be 20 in the x direction and 10 in the y direction. So I'm going to do 20, comma, 10 in the y, comma, 0 in the z. And boom, it put it there. And my last piece I need to put on top of that one. Now this is a little tricky to think about. That green square right there needs to be 20 in the x, 10 in the y, and then 10 in the z. And so if I do that, 20 in the x, comma, 10 in the y, comma, 10 in the z, hit return, and that put that piece up there. I'm done at this point, so I'm going to hit the escape key in the upper left-hand part of the keyboard to stop duplicating. I've got one last issue on this one. These are all individual cubes. If I printed them, they would actually print as individual cubes and just be stacked. Last command is union. Union combines things, and now we just have to click each of the pieces, make sure all of them are highlighted. Once you're all highlighted, hit return, and now if you check, that's one solid piece. One little side note, you can do this real quick. I'm going to make this piece yellow. So if you go over here to properties, you can go by color by layer, make it yellow, whatever color you want, and then you can vary the transparency. I recommend somewhere around 30 or 40%. And now if you click off of there, you'll have the nice transparent shape. Last command, I need to move this out of the way so I can make my next piece. I recommend moving along the Y direction. I would move the first piece 600 units in the Y direction, the second piece 500, next piece 400, 300, 200, you get the idea. So if you type in move, it's going to say select object, click anywhere on it till it's blue, hit return. Specify base point, I'm going to choose the origin. And now notice I can move it. So I just don't move it randomly. I'm going to type in 0, 600, 0. For my next piece, I'll probably do 500, then 400. You get the idea, so they're on top of each other. And hit return. And now that piece is way out here on the y-axis. You're good. You can now create the other pieces by first creating a cube, duplicating it, and then unioning them as well. When you're ready on this one, make sure you save your file. I'm going to save this, and you can just give it a name. Whatever name you would like. I'm going to save it that way and save it in documents. You're going to airdrop that over to your iPad to put it in the Show Me folder. You're also going to export it. Once you've made all of your pieces, you're going to select all. You can do that by hitting Command A and then going to File and say Export. And you can export it as a lithographic file. It should say .stl. You can name it the same thing, same in the same spot, and save. But do that only if you've made all 5 of your pieces. Hopefully this makes sense and you can solve this. If not, go back through the video and watch closely. Good luck!